call to activism said breaking Trump voter fraud speech is backfiring as Americans flood social media with the recording of Trump demanding 11,780 votes. After he lost the 2020 election, Trump is the last person on earth who should be talking about election fraud. Also, the White House is in a panic because inside reporting from Jonathan Swan just revealed that none of Donald Trump's advisors have any idea how to get us out of the Iran war. This is a disaster, but we already knew that. What eats at him the most, too, is that Obama, who he wishes he could be as healthy as good looking as sexy as hung as. Yeah, it's interesting. He ripped it up. This is one of those guys that just talks so much shit, he starts to believe his own shit. And then, when it's time to show his cards, he's a punk. He is. He's a coward. Ted Lieu posted, the Trump administration and Republicans have no idea what they're doing in Iran. No strategy, shifting goals, inability to defend U.S. bases and allies from Iranian strikes. Our security umbrella over the Middle East totally collapsed. I mean, right away it collapsed. We weren't defending them. We couldn't defend our own bases. Our bases are like fucking barbecue chicken. CNN just did a report on the actual damage that has been sustained to our bases. So they basically shot all of our bases up and ran all of our soldiers out of those stations and those bases. Ran us out of the Middle East. And he can lie and say, we've degraded their army. They have no navy. They have these tiny little speedboats that are doing enough damage. They have fucking ballistic missiles. I mean, now apparently we're blowing up bridges, which is civilian infrastructure and classified as war crimes, and that's what we're doing. So there's good news. U.S. District Court Judge Indira Talwani, an Obama appointee, denied the Trump administration's request to dismiss a lawsuit brought by 20 states, 3 governors, and the District of Columbia challenging the cancellation of billions of dollars in federal grant awards since President Donald Trump was inaugurated last year. She said federal law does not allow the termination of awards based on new program goals or agency priorities that an agency identifies after granting the award. The ruling comes as lawmakers in both parties, including Senate Appropriations Chair Susan Collins, urged White House Budget Director Russ Vought to delay plans to overhaul the approval process for federal grants. The Trump admin is proposing a new regulation that would put political appointees in charge of approving or nixing awards for federal grants. We have to overrun the fucking polls. There has to be so many of us out there. We have to be knocking on doors on the way, dragging people along with us to get them to vote. Politico reports that AIPAC drops online donations to Dems who back Israel aid cut. AIPAC site removes option to give to more than a dozen Democrats, removes Pelosi plaudits. So the campaign finance arm of the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee is curtailing online contributions to House Democrats who voted to cut Israel aid. Yeah, already. As of Friday afternoon, an online portal for AIPAC's Political Action Committee removed donation buttons for more than a dozen House Democrats from a page that lists incumbents who stand with Israel. The members now listed without donation buttons include Representative Catherine Clark of Massachusetts, good. The number 2 House Democrat, Joe Neguse of Colorado, good. A House Democrat, another member of leadership, and Representative Pat Ryan of New York, good, who renounced AIPAC money after the vote. AIPAC members are deeply appreciative of their representatives who stand on principle and are disappointed by those who don't, AIPAC spokeswoman Darren Sousa said in a statement to Politico. Yeah, the move is further evidence of a major shift In AIPAC's political relationship with the House Democrats ahead of the midterms, several hard-left progressive candidates have toppled incumbents in primaries after hammering them for accepting AIPAC money, leaving many Democrats to conclude that the ties with the pro-Israel group are politically toxic. They are. Enough is enough. Let's stop now. We're already in this. We've already played a part in these G-sides. Let's just stop now. That's a good idea. Hakeem Jeffries, of course, did not vote to block that aid. He has to be primaried. Bye. Because people like me and people all over the fucking country, we like the message of democratic socialists. Democratic socialism is not communism at all. If you want to talk about communism, the President of the United States seizing means of production, that's what communism is. And he bullied Intel into giving the government like 10% of its value. Are you kidding? So now the government owns part of Intel and some other companies. That's what communism is. But these people don't know that. They don't know the difference. And that's a problem. I mean, that's a problem. And if you've heard all of those words smashed together before and you haven't been curious enough yet to just do yourself a favor and look up the differences, shame on you. Pat Ryan posted on X Wednesday that he expected groups like AIPAC would no longer support his future campaigns, and that, frankly, I don't want their support. Hardline stances that refuse to stand up to a corrupt and increasingly dangerous Netanyahu regime have no place in our politics, he said. I hope that means our military, too.